Welcome to the Truth Chronicles, your ultimate source for in-depth stories on sports, politics, and everything in between. Today, we're diving headfirst into the thrilling world of professional wrestling, specifically focusing on the legendary Antonio Inoki, a man who has left an indelible mark on the sport. From his humble beginnings in a small port city in Japan to his meteoric rise to global fame, Inoki's journey is a testament to the power of resilience and passion. A wrestler, a politician, an entrepreneur, he's worn many hats, but his most defining role has been his contribution to the world of professional wrestling, notably his influential stint in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Get ready as we delve deep into the life and career of this wrestling titan, exploring his early life, his amateur wrestling career, his professional wrestling career, his time at New Japan Pro Wrestling, and his infamous feud with Rusher Kimura. So buckle up and let's embark on this exciting journey together. Prepare to be amazed, inspired, and riveted as we unfold the story of Antonio Inoki, the legend of Puroresu. Have you ever heard of Antonio Inoki? He's a man of many talents, a professional wrestler, a politician, and an entrepreneur, but perhaps he's best known for his influential career in Japan's New Japan Pro Wrestling promotion. Born as Kanji Inoki on October 17, 1943 in Yokohama, Japan, Antonio Inoki's story is one of resilience and determination. His father, a Korean immigrant, ran a small restaurant in Yokohama, where Inoki learned the values of hard work and perseverance. This humble upbringing would serve as the bedrock of his future success. In this bustling port city, a young Inoki discovered his passion for wrestling. At the tender age of 15, he stepped into the world of amateur wrestling. His raw talent, coupled with an unyielding spirit, soon catapulted him to the forefront of the wrestling scene in Japan. The boy who once served tables in his father's restaurant was now standing atop podiums, a beacon of hope and inspiration for many. Inoki's prowess on the mat was undeniable. He clinched numerous national championships, and his reputation started to seep beyond the borders of Japan. The world took notice as he represented his country in several international competitions, including the 1960 Olympic Games in Rome. Competing in the freestyle middleweight division, Inoki held his own against the world's best, finishing a commendable 6th. From the bustling streets of Yokohama to the grand stadiums of Rome, the journey was far from easy. But each struggle, each setback only served to fuel his ambition, to harden his resolve. Wrestling was not just a sport for Inoki, it was a way of life, a calling. And so, with his father's teachings in his heart and a burning passion in his soul, Inoki set forth on a path that would lead him to greatness. He was not merely content with being a champion. He wanted to revolutionize the world of wrestling. He wanted to leave his mark, to etch his name in the annals of history. Thus began the journey of this young man from Yokohama, destined to become a titan in the world of pro wrestling. Inoki's wrestling journey started long before he stepped into a professional ring. Indeed, the foundation of Antonio Inoki's illustrious career was laid in the world of amateur wrestling. At the tender age of 15, Inoki plunged headfirst into this grueling sport, quickly distinguishing himself as a force to be reckoned with. In the realm of amateur wrestling, Antonio Inoki was a marvel. He was agile, powerful, and above all, driven by an insatiable hunger for victory. His dedication and raw talent propelled him to the top echelons of Japan's amateur wrestling scene. He clinched numerous national championships, leaving a lasting impression on the spectators and his fellow competitors. But it was not just in his homeland that Inoki made waves. His prowess transcended borders, leading him to represent Japan in several international competitions. One of these was the 1960 Olympic Games in Rome, an event that brought together the best athletes from around the globe. Here, Inoki competed in the freestyle middleweight division, a category teeming with formidable opponents. Yet Inoki held his own, finishing 6th, an impressive feat for the young athlete. Inoki's amateur wrestling career was a testament to his tenacity and the strength of his spirit. Every match, every victory, every setback was a stepping stone, shaping him into the wrestler he would become. It was a journey that honed his skills, fortified his resolve, and lit the spark of ambition that would guide his path in the years to come. As the curtain fell on Inoki's amateur wrestling days, a new chapter was about to unfold. The wrestling world was on the brink of witnessing the rise of a legend, a man who would come to redefine the sport in ways never imagined before. This young, ambitious wrestler was about to take a significant leap into the professional arena, and the world of wrestling was not ready for what was to come. In 1962, Inoki made his debut in the professional wrestling world. A fresh face in the Japan Pro Wrestling Association, or JPA, Inoki was eager to make his mark. And make his mark he did, with a unique blend of technical grappling skills honed from his amateur days, and a charismatic personality that was larger than life. Inoki quickly established himself as a force to be reckoned with. Inoki was not just another wrestler, he was a showman. He had a knack for captivating the audience, drawing them in with his intense matches and flamboyant personality. He was the embodiment of the phrase, "the show must go on," and his matches were always a spectacle to behold. But it wasn't all about the show. Inoki was a formidable wrestler in his own right. His innovative moveset, combined with his technical prowess, made him a formidable opponent in the ring. He was a master of the mat, and his opponents often found themselves outmatched and outmaneuvered. Inoki's rise to prominence was meteoric. He quickly became one of the top stars in the JPA, and his success didn't stop there. When the JPA merged with another promotion to form All Japan Pro Wrestling, or AJPW, Inoki continued his winning streak, securing multiple titles and further cementing his status as one of Japan's top wrestlers. But Inoki was not just a wrestler. He was a visionary. He saw potential in the world of professional wrestling that others didn't. He saw a way to take the sport he loved and make it even better. He had ideas, big ideas, and he wasn't afraid to act on them. And so, Inoki did something that few wrestlers have ever done. He took a leap of faith, a risk that could have ended his career. But Inoki was not one to back down from a challenge. He was not one to settle. And so in 1972, Inoki left the AJPW, but he didn't leave wrestling, far from it. However, Inoki was not one to settle, and his ambition led him to branch out and create something of his own. In 1972, Inoki embarked on a new venture, founding New Japan Pro Wrestling. With this ambitious step, he ventured into uncharted territory, taking a calculated risk that would go on to shape the face of professional wrestling in Japan. The early days of NJPW were far from smooth sailing. The promotion was grappling with financial challenges and struggled to find its footing in a market dominated by established giants. But Inoki, with his unwavering belief and unyielding resolve, was undeterred. He brought to NJPW his unique vision, a vision that was deeply rooted in his understanding of the sport, its audience, and the pulse of the times. He knew that to make his venture successful, he would have to offer something different, something that was both uniquely Japanese and yet had a universal appeal. And so he began to shape NJPW into a platform that showcased a unique blend of wrestling styles. It was here that Inoki the wrestler and Inoki the promoter worked in perfect harmony. He used his connections with American wrestling promotions like the National Wrestling Alliance to bring in top foreign talent, effectively globalizing NJPW's appeal. Inoki's popularity as a wrestler also played a pivotal role in the success of NJPW. His charisma was infectious, and his skill in the ring was unmatched. He was not just a promoter, but also the face of the promotion, a dual role that he embraced with aplomb. Over time, NJPW grew from a struggling startup to one of the largest and most respected wrestling promotions in Japan. The promotion's success was a testament to Inoki's vision, his understanding of the sport, and his ability to innovate and adapt. But Inoki's impact on NJPW was not just confined to his role as a promoter. He was also involved in some of the most memorable feuds that left an indelible mark on the wrestling world. Inoki's influence on NJPW was not limited to his role as a promoter. He also had memorable feuds that left an indelible mark on the wrestling world. Among the many storylines in Inoki's career, his feud with Russia Kimura stands out. Inoki's tenure in New Japan Pro Wrestling was marked by many memorable encounters, but none perhaps as impactful as his storied rivalry with Russia Kimura. Kimura, a fellow wrestler, was once an ally of Inoki's, but as the saying goes, nothing is permanent in the wrestling world except change. Their relationship evolved from camaraderie to competition, setting the stage for a series of unforgettable matches. The first face-off between these two titans of the ring took place on December 11, 1980. The match was nothing short of epic. For 70 long minutes, audiences watched with bated breath as Inoki and Kimura grappled, each trying to gain the upper hand. Their styles clashed in a mesmerizing display of technical prowess and brute strength. Yet when the dust settled, neither had managed to secure a decisive victory. The match ended in a draw, leaving the audience clamoring for more, but the story didn't end there. The rivalry between Inoki and Kimura was far from over. Over the years, they would meet again and again in the squared circle. Each rematch was a testament to their evolving relationship and the deep respect they held for one another. Their matches were more than just battles for supremacy. They were an exploration of the limits of professional wrestling. They pushed boundaries, innovated, and left an indelible mark on the sport. Inoki's feud with Kimura was a defining chapter in his career. It showcased his passion for wrestling and his unwavering commitment to pushing the sport forward. But more than that, it highlighted his ability to captivate an audience and tell a compelling story within the ropes of the wrestling ring. Inoki's feud with Kimura is a testament to his dedication and passion for the sport, qualities that have made him a legend in the world of professional wrestling. Do you know who played a significant role in introducing professional wrestling to the global scene? Let's take a step back in time. Picture the wrestling ring of the mid-20th century, electrified by the charisma and strength of the competitors. Among these titans, a young man from Japan, Antonio Inoki, began to carve out his legacy. Inoki was not just a wrestler, he was a visionary, a man with a dream of catapulting professional wrestling onto the global stage. Inoki spent his early years honing his skills, absorbing techniques from legends of the time. His dedication and raw talent eventually led him to establish New Japan Pro Wrestling, or NJPW, in 1972. But Inoki's ambitions didn't stop at the borders of Japan. He had his eyes set on a global stage, and for this he sought partnership with the World Wrestling Federation, now known as WWE. The partnership between NJPW and WWF laid the groundwork for a series of interpromotional matches that stirred excitement across continents. These matches were not just about competition, they were a celebration of wrestling as a universal sport, a spectacle that transcended cultural and geographical boundaries. 1985 marked a significant milestone in this partnership. The wrestling world watched in awe as Inoki challenged the reigning WWF champion Hulk Hogan to a surprise match at the iconic Madison Square Garden. It was a contest of titans, a thrilling spectacle that left fans both in Japan and the United States on the edge of their seats. This event, famously known as the MSG incident, set the precedent for many more interpromotional matches, cementing the partnership between NJPW and WE. This marked the dawn of a new era in professional wrestling, with Inoki at the helm. His vision and relentless pursuit of global recognition for the sport led to a revolution that forever changed the face of professional wrestling. And this, ladies and gentlemen, was just the beginning of Inoki's extraordinary journey. Outside the wrestling arena, Inoki's influence was just as profound. In addition to his remarkable wrestling career, Inoki also stepped into the political ring. A man of many talents, he was elected to Japan's House of Councillors in the year 1989 as a member of the Liberal Democratic Party. Serving until the mid-90s, his time in office was characterized by a drive for progress and an unwavering commitment to the people. However, his passion for sports never waned. Even in the realm of politics, Inoki sought to use his influence to promote athletic development across Japan. To this end, he founded the Sports Information Committee. This committee was not just another bureaucratic entity. It was a manifestation of Inoki's belief in the transformative power of sports, a tool for fostering discipline, resilience, and camaraderie. Under his leadership, the Sports Information Committee worked tirelessly to promote sports across Japan. It aimed to make athletics an integral part of the cultural fabric, accessible to all, regardless of age or socioeconomic status. The committee's initiatives focused on nurturing young talent, fostering a culture of physical fitness and promoting Japan's rich sporting history. Inoki's political career was a testament to his versatility and his relentless drive. He was not just a wrestler or a politician, he was a man who sought to make a difference, regardless of the arena he was in. He believed in the power of sports to bring people together and used his platform to champion this cause. Even after his tenure in the House of Councillors ended, Inoki's influence remained. The initiatives he spearheaded continue to shape Japan's sporting landscape, encouraging participation and fostering talent. His legacy in the political realm is as lasting as his impact in the wrestling world. Inoki's impact was not limited to the wrestling ring, it was felt in the political arena as well. A true testament to his multifaceted persona, Inoki's story is a compelling tale of a man who stepped out of the wrestling ring and into the political arena, leaving an indelible mark in both. As the years passed, the wrestling legend began to step away from the limelight. As the final bell of the 20th century rang, Antonio Inoki had already begun to transition from the wrestling ring to the backstage. In the year of 1998, after decades of thrilling fans with his charisma and prowess, Inoki retired from active wrestling competition. But the man who had spent his life in the wrestling world wasn't ready to leave it altogether. Inoki's retirement didn't mean an end to his association with New Japan Pro Wrestling, the company he'd helped to build. Instead, he transitioned into a backstage role, becoming a guiding force for the next generation of wrestlers. From the shadows, he watched and shaped the future of the sport he loved. While Inoki had hung up his wrestling boots, he wasn't quite ready to leave the ring entirely. Throughout the early years of the 21st century, he made a handful of special appearances, much to the delight of his fans. Each time he stepped back into the ring, it was a reminder of the charisma and skill that had made him a superstar. His final match came in the year 2003. It marked the official end of Inoki's wrestling career, but his influence within the sport was far from over. Despite retiring from the ring, Inoki remained a vital part of NJPW. His role as an advisor and mentor allowed him to share his wealth of knowledge and experience with younger generations. Inoki was more than just a mentor, he was a guardian of the sport, ensuring its traditions were upheld while also guiding its evolution. He continued to innovate, paving the way for the wrestling we know and love today. His influence can be seen in the work of countless wrestlers who have since stepped into the ring. Inoki's passion for wrestling was undiminished by his retirement. He continued to attend matches, his eyes always on the lookout for the next superstar. His belief in the power of wrestling to unite people never wavered, and he continued to champion the sport at every opportunity. Throughout his retirement, Inoki's commitment to wrestling remained unshakable. His dedication to the sport extended far beyond his years in the ring, shaping not only his own legacy, but the future of professional wrestling as a whole. As we look back on Inoki's career, it's clear that his impact resonates far beyond his time in the ring. His influence can be seen in every corner of the wrestling world, from the athletes who emulate his style to the promotions that continue to benefit from his wisdom. Even in retirement, Inoki's legacy in the wrestling world continued to grow. His journey may have begun in the ring, but it didn't end there. From his early days as a wrestler to his later years as a mentor, Inoki's love for wrestling has left an indelible mark on the sport. And while he may have stepped out of the limelight, his legacy continues to shine brightly. In 2020, Inoki's health took a turn for the worse. A chilling fall at his home led to a dire situation, a cervical spine injury that required immediate hospitalization and surgery. While the wrestling titan had faced numerous formidable opponents in the ring, this was an adversary of a different kind. As he grappled with his health issues, the world held its breath, hoping for a recovery befitting a champion. Inoki, true to his indomitable spirit, battled his condition with the same vigor he exhibited in his wrestling bouts. Yet it seemed the wrestling legend was in for the most challenging match of his life. Despite his efforts, on February 15, 2023, Inoki's heart, that had held strong through countless wrestling matches and political battles, succumbed to heart failure. He was still undergoing rehabilitation for his previous injury, a testament to his enduring tenacity. News of his passing reverberated across the globe, sending shockwaves through the wrestling community. Fans, peers, and protégés alike mourned the loss of a pioneering figure in professional wrestling. Inoki had not just been a wrestler. He had been an ambassador for the sport, a politician, a mentor, and above all, a symbol of resilience and determination. Tributes poured in from all corners of the world. His contemporaries shared stories of his grit and passion. His students spoke of his unwavering dedication to the sport, and fans reminisced about the electrifying matches that had so often left them on the edge of their seats. Inoki's influence had transcended the confines of the wrestling ring, touching lives far and wide. His dedication to promoting wrestling on a global scale, his efforts in fostering athletic development across Japan, and his role in shaping the futures of younger wrestling generations were all noted with reverence. Inoki's legacy was not just in the wrestling moves he pioneered or the matches he won, but also in the lives he touched and the sport he loved so dearly. It was evident that Inoki's departure left a void in the wrestling world that would never quite be filled. Yet, as the waves of tributes and remembrances showed, Inoki's spirit was far from extinguished. It lived on in the wrestling rings of Japan, in the hearts of his fans, in the careers of his protégés, and in the annals of wrestling history. Inoki's journey had been one of extraordinary courage and unparalleled dedication. He had risen from the wrestling rings of Japan to the political corridors of power, all the while remaining true to his love for wrestling. His story was one of resilience, of never giving up, even in the face of the most daunting challenges. Inoki's passing was a significant loss, but his legacy lives on in the hearts of wrestling fans worldwide. His story continues to inspire, his achievements continue to be celebrated, and his memory continues to be cherished. Inoki, the wrestling legend, the political figure, the mentor, and the man may have left the stage, but his impact remains undiminished and unforgettable. Even in absence, Inoki's spirit remains stronger than ever. His influence, his passion, his unwavering dedication to the sport of wrestling is an enduring flame that continues to inspire generations. His journey from the wrestling rings to the political corridors and his battle against life's most daunting challenges is a testament to his extraordinary courage and resilience. His story continues to inspire, his achievements continue to be celebrated, and his memory continues to be cherished. Inoki, the wrestling legend, the political figure, the mentor, and the man may have left the stage, but his legacy, his impact remains undiminished and unforgettable. He remains a symbol of strength, determination, and an unwavering love for the sport that made him a legend. He may be gone, but in the hearts of wrestling fans worldwide, Inoki will always be the indomitable champion, the wrestling titan who changed the face of professional wrestling. As we remember Inoki, let us not just mourn his loss, but also celebrate his life, his achievements, and the profound influence he had on the world of wrestling and beyond. And let us carry forward his indomitable spirit, his love for the sport, and his legacy of resilience, determination, and courage. Because as long as we remember, as long as we continue to be inspired, Inoki's legacy will never fade. He may have heard the final bell, but in the annals of wrestling history and in the hearts of his fans, Inoki's match is far from over. Outro. Thank you for watching this episode of the Truth Chronicles. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Until next time, keep seeking the truth.